Hi there, I'm going to talk today about my newest knife acquisition. This is a Case Mini Trapper. I've been feeling the pull, like lots of others have I think, away from your more tactical or larger knives and back towards these traditionals. And while I'm not the hugest knife collector, I sort of like a bit of a broad collection, so I've got variety when I choose what I want to carry each day. So I thought I'd grab probably one of the more classic of the traditional knife patterns, did a bit of research and decided on this. This is a slip joint, two-bladed knife, so you get one more usual clip point blade, and you get one spay blade, so a little sort of a sheep's foot kind of blade, fairly blunt on the tip. I guess the purpose of it was to once spay animals, but I'm sure it's just this benefit now just lies in having a second blade, with perhaps one for food and one for boxes. Probably quite a good food blade actually. At any rate, I'm pretty happy with it. I'll just give you a bit of a close-up. So you can see it's a red bone that they jig along the surface there to give it that texture. And they dye it obviously in a process, like sort of a dipping process that makes it, different areas, different strengths of red. You've got brass liners, stainless steel back springs and hardware, and you've got nickel silver bolsters. Nickel silver isn't silver, it's copper blended with nickel and zinc, and it's quite a stainless material. It should develop a sort of a nice pocket worn patina over time though. The steel of the blades, with Case you've got two choices traditionally. You've got true sharp or you've got chrome vanadium. This is chrome vanadium, so slightly less stainless than the true sharp. I got this because I read that it sharpens easier, sharpens to a better point and stays at that sharp edge for a little bit longer. Overall I'm really happy with it. It's 3 1/4 inches long when it's closed. The blades are only small. The cutting edges are only about 2 inches, and I just find it just nice to have just a classic slip joint again, because I've been reassessing, I've never had any illusions that my knives are used for anything particularly awesome, but I've just been reassessing a bit what I'm actually doing with a knife, and even it's just some things I used to think were just necessary have just seemed to me lately to just be not as essential. It's nice to have one hand opening, it's nice to have locking, but it really doesn't change the experience of 90% of my knife tasks. Even the lock, you're usually cutting things that aren't moving, and as long as you're not screwing around with it, you're really not going to close it on yourself. And most of these knives have squared off tangs. They do have that half stop as well. So yeah, I've been probably drawing to this point. I've gone over a few knives lately. I started probably with my Victorinox Pioneer. That's another slip joint, and I really sort of like the sort of elegant look of that. And I've got a couple of other sort of classic knives. Like this is a Mercator Cat K55K. It is a locking knife, but apart from that, it's very much a traditional pattern. And I really enjoyed the Falcon Even, and I still carry this a whole lot. The Falcon Even U4. Again, that's a lockback. But as far as traditional knives go, a lockback is probably the most advanced feature you'll get. Another thing you have to accept is that you're probably not going to be getting the most space-age materials. That's not to say you're not getting quality materials, but in terms of knife performance, they're not going to be up there with your Spydercos or your Chris Reeve knives for certain. So what we've got here is bone as the handle, which I think is a great handle material, even compared to your modern materials. But then your knife steels, obviously, this would probably be about the equivalent of a 1055 carbon, something similar. So this would rust if I didn't take care of it, and it won't stay sharp for a long time, but it presents well and it polishes nicely. You don't get pocket clips. These are all just sitting at the bottom of your pocket with all your keys and things, and that gets what gives your knife its character over a few years, just being dinged up against everything else and being used. So that is the Case Mini Trapper. Comes in a nice box wrapped in wax paper from Case. just the whole experience is just quite nice, having something more traditional from time to time when you don't feel like ripping out your big one-hand opener at the post office. And there we have it. Thanks very much for watching. See you later.